Hello, everyone. I want to give some hope to people out there and to speak about something God put on my heart. Recently, I was around somebody that had relapsed, and my past of addiction has been really strong, and it's important for me to help people that is going through the same path that I had issues with for the longest time. I was around him, and all I really wanted to do was help him. I thought it was important to help him through the issues he was going through. Well, this was a few days before Halloween, and for me and my family, Halloween, we don't celebrate it because of what it represents. You see the witches all over and sorcery and that's celebrated now in our culture, but we don't celebrate it. But I also realize that the devil is around strongly around that time. And whether we know it or not, our family might have had an agreement with him or, something that may have allowed him in our lives. Well, before I know it, I'm having thoughts about addiction again. And usually seeing something like that wouldn't be a trigger for me, but it just so happened that this time it was. And we know that the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. I know that 100%. And he was in my mind creating thoughts for me to get high again. So much so that I was looking up old numbers of people and, even thinking about approaching the person that I was around. But instead, when you're in addiction and you're in active negative thoughts, you learn how to reframe that way of thought. So 2 Corinthians 12:9 says, "My grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in your weakness." If you allow the Lord to strengthen your weaknesses, you can get past those addictions. Also, in Proverbs 18:21 says, "The tongue has the power of life and death." So it was important for me to speak life over the addiction, over the addictive thoughts that I was thinking before I went down into the rabbit hole again and hurt my family. I used Proverbs 18:21 and I spoke life into my situation because we know that the devil will devour you if you give him the option. But instead of doing that, I prayed to God. I covered myself with my spiritual armor according to Ephesians 6:13-18. I powered up every day and I walked in my truth. I walked in righteousness. But even while having those thoughts, I would submit those to God and surrender them. And before I know it, those thoughts didn't even exist in my mind anymore. They were gone. But I think it's important to say, even if you go through years of sobriety, addiction will always follow you, but the way through it is to give it to God. That's all I got. Thanks, y'all.